Hello, Knights fans, and welcome to the 11th edition of the Knights Baseball Roundup. I'm Ryan Uhlich. I'm back from Florida. This is the head of the FDU baseball program, Gary Puccio, but you already know that. Gary, this kind of feels like Florida right now here. It's absolutely stunningly beautiful. Today you're facing Iona. By the time this goes up, you'll probably have already gotten past today, but chances of showers tonight. Not really sure about that, but before we get into that, we got to talk about last week's Knights Baseball Roundup because I wasn't on it. It was episode number 10. You had Tommy, a former CCSU star baseball player, filling in for you, the enemy. Current ally, though. He's filling in, and you set the record for the shortest Knights Baseball Roundup in the history of Knights Baseball Roundups, about 6 minutes and change. What was going through your mind? It must have been a blur.
I've been told Tommy hits better than he talks. I guess.
And a few words.
Yeah, well, you know, he kind of did it in like clips. So we kind of put like these little clips together and did what that's whatever it came out. I mean, you know, it was Tommy's first time out, and I guess we didn't have a lot to say. I don't know.
He's efficient. He's not a man of many words, but he's efficient. Gets his point across. But
I think you already this show have passed him in speaking
this week
already in this 1 week. Yeah.
I don't doubt it. My intros are really long. Okay, well I'm back. I'll be back the rest of the season. Beautiful day out here today. Before we get into this past weekend, which a lot to talk about, a lot of positives. We got our alumni question of the week, and this is important for the alumni watching. Take it away, Gary.
Yeah, the alumni question of the week has to do with the Alumni Day coming up on May 2nd, which is a week from Saturday, and they want to know the details about the May 2nd Alumni Day. It's going to be where we're going to honor Mike Sansilio, who passed away this season. He was a member of the 62 team that's considered one of the greatest teams in FDU baseball history. And we're also going to honor a couple other people and hopefully have a nice day out here for the alumni. There'll be breakfast in the morning. I believe it's at 9:30 or 10 o'clock over in the fitness center. And then there'll be some festivities out here on the field. We'll introduce the team. We'll talk about some of the alumni. And hopefully we have a doubleheader that day with LIU. Hopefully we get a couple of W's too.
Excellent. It's an important game. Implications in the standings. Season's end is right around the corner. Only a few more weeks. This weekend you have a bit of a reprieve, non-conference slate this coming weekend and today as well. Things to work on. Let's jump into, and again, May 2nd, keep up to date on FDUKnights.com. All updates on the baseball program, what you're going to be doing that day, weather, obviously. And let's talk about this past weekend. Central Connecticut State, a perennial power in the Northeast. You guys go up to New Britain. You take 3 out of 4. Good pitching performances across the board. The bats awoke. A couple freshmen got in on the action as well. So before we get your kind of grand scheme pictures, we'll break it down. Game 1, 4-1. That might have been the longest, I think, that Joe Flack's ever gone in a game. I'm not sure if he's reached 8 innings or not. He has?
Yeah.
Okay, he reached 8 innings. But this season, at least, 7 2/3. Then you close the door with Eric getting his 28th save, because he got another one late in the weekend, of course. So Joe Flack was coming back from injury a few weeks ago. He's rounding into form right at the best time, and the lineup gave him the offense that he needed. Give me some thoughts about the Friday game there.
Well, Joe pitched out of 2, not 1, but 2 bases loaded, no out jams, which was incredible. I mean, the kid he's gutsy, he's a tough kid. I mean, that's the 9th time that he's given up 3 runs or less in a start for us in the 2 years he's been here. And, you know, he's only got 2 wins to show for him, which is crazy. But he gave us an absolutely outstanding performance, and he set the tone for the weekend. It did. You know, we got the key outs we had to get in that game, and it, like I said, it carried over for the rest of the weekend. And I really felt he set the tone for us and just gave us a big-time lift.
Definitely set the tone. Then you head right into Game 1 the next day, and Joe Borelli, who's had some up and downs this season, your first pitch honoree this season, he pitched arguably his finest performance of the season. No walks, couple earned runs, went the distance in Game 1 against CCSU to take a 2-0 lead on the weekend. The bats came alive. 7-3 was the final score. Give me some thoughts about Game 1.
Yeah, you know, it's funny because it was basically the identical game to that Joe Borelli pitched for us opening day at Sacred Heart. And, you know, he left up 5-3 after 7. The difference was this game was over after 7. So, you know, that made a difference for him. And he weathered the storm a little bit. I think it was 5-2, and I was getting a little nervous and had Snyder up in the bullpen just in case. And Joe got out of that inning, left a runner at third, And then we scored a couple more runs, and that gave us a little more breathing room. And he pitched a complete game for 7 innings and got the W. And that was big for us too. And again, we're getting some timely hits from some people too, which is a big also. So.
All right, now heading up into Game 2 of the doubleheader on Saturday, up 2-0 on the weekend as it was. Ryan McGrath has had a solid first half of the season, struggled with command a bit in his Game 2 start in a shortened game, just 7 innings. But it was I believe it was a 13-3 scoreline to end it. CCSU got kind of all their hitting out in one game, but obviously, what are some positives you took from that performance?
Well, first of all, I think, Ryan just couldn't find the plate. You're gonna have days like that. He just couldn't find the plate. I mean, he walked, I think, 8 in 3 innings. It just wasn't. He wasn't sharp, and you can't expect. They're not machines. They're not gonna go out there every week and give you the same performance. And he's obviously been a solid workhorse for us. He's I think 4-4 now, and he's pitched a lot of innings for us, a lot more than we expected that he was gonna do. And
is fatigue becoming a worry at all? Because this is a workload he hasn't really seen before at the college level.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure, but just to make sure, because we have a bye week this week, I've already told him he's not going to start this weekend. That I'm going to get him a few innings just to keep him sharp. But I kind of feel why not give him a little bit of a rest. He's, I think until this year he's only thrown 10 innings for us, and he's up around 40 innings already this year. So.
Some of the benefits of that,
right? With a non-conference weekend, the problem with non-conference always is, you want to get guys some time, which we've been doing the last couple of days, but at the same time, you don't want to create a losing streak. So it's a catch-22. You're trying to get people some playing time who haven't gotten too much playing time, and you also want to keep your main guys sharp. So it's a rest, and that's how we have to look at it. And we can't worry about the W's and L's in the non-conference game. We have to worry about the last 3 weekends ahead. And I felt for Ryan McGrath's sake that it'd be best if he just throws a couple innings this weekend and basically rests for his last 3 starts. And one of the things I challenged all the 4 starting pitchers with was, I said to them, look, you all got 3 conference starts left. Go win 2 of them. Make that your goal, because if you all win 2 of them, we're in great shape.
There you go. Benefits of the out-of-conference schedule coming up. Let's wrap up the CCSU series. Now, Game 4 was unlike the others. This was, you're down, but there was the big rally at the end. A number of hits, big hits at the end of the game, capped off by Joel Roman's 2-out, 2 RBI double to take the lead and eventually hold that lead. Unlike the other games in the series where you established the lead and you held it. So this was a very good win to close out a series against a very tough opponent on the road, especially. Some thoughts about the team's gritty performance there in Game 4.
Well, I had told them that this was a must weekend, that we had to go win 3 out of 4 if we want any chance of making the playoffs. That was important. That 3 out of 4 would not only put us back in the race, but put us into that 4th playoff spot for now, and then it's up to us to keep it there. And we were up 1-0. Logan was pitching great, 6 innings. They got a bloop hit with a man on second, 2 out to tie it at 1-1. And then the 7th inning, Logan kind of got tired and lost it a little bit and gave up 3 runs. And we're down 4-1 going to the 8th inning. And usually you're in big trouble down 4-1 in the 8th inning. They made a throwing error on the first batter of the inning. And then, like you said, we got to run here, we got to run there. All of a sudden it's 4-3, second and third, 2 out, and Joel, again, as usual, comes up with a big 2 RBI hit down the right field line to make it 5-4 us. And then Jason Fatzinger, who was subbing for Ryan Brennan, who had hurt his heel and was out for the last 2 games of that series. This is what I said from the start of the year this year, is I felt we had more depth on offense, and Jason proved that, because with Ryan out of the lineup, Jason had 3 hits that day, including that insurance run, which was a major run to make it 6-4. And 6-4, bottom of the 8th, I'm going to Snyder, and that's obviously been the right move all the time.
Yeah, bring in the righty for his 29th career save. Just keep on padding the career stats. He's got 7 now this season, which I just told Gary before the show. Puts him into the top 5 for the 4th time, all 4 years in single-season history here. He's got 4, 6, 7, and the record 12. So he's got to save another 5 to get up there.
Well, what's amazing is the all-time NCAA record for saves in a career is 44. And that's by a pitcher from UCLA, where they're winning 35 games a year, And Eric Snyder is going to be somewhere in the top 10 of that list of all time. And I think he's got 29 saves and 8 wins here, and that's 37 wins. And I think since he's been here, we've won about 60-something games. So you're talking about 60 to 70% of the wins he's involved in, which is just absolutely astronomical.
I mean, we keep coming up with superlatives for him and keep up coming with stats, but he keeps on chugging along. Back to Game 4. I mean, that the late game heroics. Yes, the depth showed itself. We've been talking about the pitching for most of the show and what they did this weekend, but the lineup was solid as well throughout. Fatzinger came in. He had a great weekend. Shane Sleeber at the bottom of the order has been phenomenal over the last 2 weekends, as Tommy pointed out to me. He's batting near almost 500, he said, over the last 10 games or so. And at that 9 spot goes right into the top of the order, which have been doing well. And I also threw out another stat, which I think you would love to know, is Pat McClure, Ryan Brennan, and Joel Roman. All 3 of them, of the hits they have this season, at half or better extra base hits. So just getting it done, making big impacts. And not to diminish Pat as well, because in that rally, Matt McCann had a hit. Pat McClure got him over to third. I think he had an RBI single, and then Joel came up with 2 outs. So a great job by the lineup to get the 3 out of 4. This is a very tough opponent. I didn't get to mention it, but CCSU was coming into this weekend. They were 4 and 4. Okay, 4 and 4, and they were beating Brian Twite. That's pretty impressive. So 4 and 4 coming into this weekend, but now they're tied with FDU 5 and 7. You're in good shape. And what did you tell me before the show? You said as long as you told the players, as long as they match Central the rest of the way. It's not the only thing they have to do, but if they can match Central, they're looking pretty good.
Well, right now that's the team tie with you, so that's the team you're most worried about. I mean, obviously, LAU's coming in here, and we got to handle business when we play them at our own field. I mean, they're right there too with a 5 and 7 record, and Mount St. Mary's is 4 and 8, so they're not out of it by any stretch of the imagination. The good part is we have both those teams at home in our own ballpark, and you got to make sure that in your own ballpark you make things happen. So that's why I just told the kids it's basically in your hands now. You got 3 conference weekends to go, and it's in your hands. And it's nice to know that we're going to be playing meaningful games the month of May again, which we've done here for 3 of my 5 years here, which is only last year was kind of disastrous in May, but we have a shot again, and that's all you can ask for, is to have a shot. So God willing, we get it done. And if we don't get it done, so be it. But at least we've put ourselves in a position to have an opportunity, and that's all you can ask for. That was a big weekend this weekend. They had to step up, and I give the kids a lot of credit: pitching, hitting, defense, everything. I mean, we made plays we had to make. We got hits we had to get. And like I said, down 4-1 in the 8th inning of the game you had to have, or it was meaningless. They came through. I mean, that's what you got to say. They came through. 3
out of 4, and one in different ways. Coming from behind, establishing a lead, holding it. Just a great weekend against a perennial playoff team in the NEC. And yesterday you took on St. Peter's, just a standalone game. Began this out-of-conference slate that you have in the middle of the NEC slate. What were you trying to do yesterday? You had to play it here because of the weather. But what were you trying to establish yesterday? What'd you take out of that game?
Yeah, like I said earlier, that's part of the problem with non-conference games is, you got momentum going. We've won 4 to 5 in the conference. And you kind of want to keep that momentum going, but at the same time, you can't pitch any of your regular guys. And you also got some guys who've been sitting on the bench that have been working hard and playing hard, and you want to get them some at-bats because you never know if you're going to need them down the stretch, just the way Jason Fatzinger had to play when Ryan got hurt. Who knows who else is going to be in that situation? So I want to get a bunch of guys some at-bats. Jason played again. He got 2 hits. Ryan McNaughton got 2 hits. Mm-hmm. So, what we were trying to accomplish, we accomplished. We got some guys some playing time, and they showed, some aggressive at-bats and some good hitting situations for us, which we need. Pitching-wise, obviously, we struggled, and we do tend to struggle. We have a couple pitchers out hurt for the year, and that affected everybody's, what their actual roles were going to be, and people had to move up into different roles, and it definitely hurts us when we get to those non-conference games because we're pitching a lot of guys who weren't even necessarily going to be pitchers here. So, but you give up 13 runs, you're not going to win. I mean, I think we walked 12 again yesterday. So, and again, like it's non-conference. I told the guys, I said, you don't want to. I mean, not that you're not trying to win, because you are trying to win, but at the same time, I feel this week it's more important to accomplish seeing some guys in roles in case someone's hurt or in case something happens, so that some guys can go into those last 3 weeks with a little more confidence in case they have to play, just the way Jason did, and the same thing with the pitching. Rest the pitching and have your main guys ready to go and give you those last 20 innings of the season as on the sharpest note they can give you, and hopefully that gives us a shot. And that's all you want. All you ever want is a shot, and we have a shot. And 2 of the last 3 series at home. Let's see what happens.
Very true. That's the only negative takeaway from this out of conference is that you're not playing an NAC game for 2 weeks, essentially. But a lot of games upcoming to get these players some, not the players that don't play a lot, obviously everything you said, get the regulars some game action, get them a breather. Today is against Iona. We'll get you out of here soon because we got to go. But I know the weather's...
Tommy's here?
He's got a stopwatch off camera. We've way exceeded our time. I think we're going to triple it this week, unfortunately. Fortunately or unfortunately, however you take it, if you're watching at home, if you like this sort of thing.
I think the ratings went down last week with Tom. I don't know. I think they went down.
I don't know.
Not having you.
They just didn't see me right away, and they just stopped watching.
Right, that's it.
Okay, well, Iona today. The weather calls for showers later. I mean, it's beautiful right now. I mean, the clouds are creeping in, but if they play, they play. You'll find out about that on FDUnites.com tonight and at FDUnites on Twitter to see if the game will go through, and we'll have live updates as you go. Give me some thoughts about the Gales, and then also NJIT this weekend, a home and away doubleheader here on Saturday, away at NJIT on Sunday, 4 games. And then you wait until next week, and we'll get back to episode 12. So, thoughts about the out-of-conference opponents?
Well, the good thing about playing out-of-conference is Rivera's not pitching for Iona. Mariano Rivera's
right. I know.
He's throwing about 95 over there.
Drafted by the Yankees, I believe, last year, and chose to go back.
He's right. He's having a phenomenal year. He's been clocked at about 95 this year and stuff. So that's one of the good things about non-conference is you're probably not seeing him. So that helps a little bit. And then this weekend we got New Jersey Tech, a 4-game series, 2 here on Saturday and 2 at their place on Sunday, and those are all 7-inning doubleheaders. And again, we're going to try to get some guys some time and also keep our main players sharp. That's kind of our goal. And I just don't want to have like a 6-game losing streak because we're not playing at 100% with every guy. But at the same time, this is what I think I need to do to give us our best opportunity in the league, and that's what it's about. No one gets at large bids, and I've never been a guy that's cared too much about non-conference wins. It's just not my thing. It just never has been. I mean, I just always feel everything's about geared to being the best you can be in the conference, and hopefully, we need one more win to tie last year, so that should happen, and then we'll take it from there, and let's have 3 good weeks of conference baseball, and hopefully there's a pleasant surprise at the end of that.
Absolutely. I mean, out of conference to me as well, it's free baseball. It's where you get to see what you got from your team, from your non-regulars. And you Knights fans can follow along this entire weekend. Come out and support your Knights here at the Naimoli Family Baseball Complex. That's this Saturday, the 25th. And then you got a week off to prepare for LIU. That's a big series. May 2nd is the Alumni Day. It's also a huge series against a very tough opponent in the race for the 4th spot, even playoffs in general. So best of luck this week. Anything else you got to say this week?
Yeah, starting next week, I understand we're going to be doing 2 episodes per week. One with you is the long version, and then the Tom Mead 30 and 30 version, the ESPN quickie. So look forward to, you can hit whichever button you want.
At that point, I'm just going to mail it in. If he's doing half of them and people are going to be going to the abbreviated version, I'm just going to mail it in. I'll be sitting in a chair just holding it up for you. Okay, that's it for us. 11th edition. Missed it. For me, it's number 10, so this is a big moment for me at least, but Gary's already, it's over for him. 4 to go. We'll be back with another Knights Baseball Roundup next week. Come out and support your Knights on Saturday. Obviously, the website, the Twitter handle. That's where you get all your up-to-date information. Follow along today. They'll be at the Gales, weather pending, but we just got, the clouds have pretty much overtaken us now, but either way, free baseball this weekend, out of conference slate, try to work out some kinks, and looking back, great 3 out of 4 weekend against ECSU, right back in the hunt, FDU baseball. And again, thank you. Best of luck this weekend.
Thanks a lot.
Another edition of Knights Baseball Roundup next week. We'll see you then.